vibration won't do you no good. It won't do you no good. You better start rolling when you hear the man calling. It won't do you no good. It won't do you no good.
We're now halfway between the Olympics and New York City Marathon, and you know, anytime you throw a race on the calendar immediately after another marathon, there's a few risk factors and fears that go into that. It's number one is health though. Like coming off a marathon, you just never know how your body's going to be. Thankfully, I've been really healthy coming off of Paris and built right back into things, and I actually feel like I turned a corner sometime in the last 2 or 3 weeks with my training, where I'm feeling fitter than I did the entire Paris block, and I'm feeling like paces are coming easier, recovery windows are shortening, and momentum's building. And you know, you don't always know when something's gonna go particularly well in this sport. There's a lot of factors that you can't control, and race day always has a little bit of mystique to it, just because, you know, something can happen between now and then. But I would say consistent theme throughout my career is when things are feeling like they do right now, I feel very confident that the race is going to go pretty well. So I'm getting excited as things build from here, and I've kind of got, obviously with Ryan moving on, I've been doing some things a little bit differently, and having some fun with some new training ideas. And I've been putting in a lot of good work and consistency, and it's been really fun. So this past weekend, I hit my longest run since the Olympics, which was an A1 loop 21 miler.
So we're out on A1 and gonna do the loop, which is like 21 miles pretty much. We're gonna do 3 by 15-minute pickups spread throughout. Should be fun. Pickups are not quite marathon effort, just because, you know, I've already had a pretty big week. They're just steady. We'll see how fast that is today, but working on some uphills and downhills all within that, because A1's hilly.
That run is more of a strength builder and like an accent to what was already a really strong week. And then this Tuesday, we did 4x2 mile at like true threshold, so like somewhere between marathon and half marathon pace and effort, starting closer to marathon and working down to half marathon. Yeah, so for the 2 mile reps on Trina's Loop, I had the company of JT Cougs, aka Jacob Thompson, 211 marathoner, runs for Under Armour, Dark Sky here in Flagstaff. He's training for the Chicago Marathon, and he's basically we linked up for one run, and then we just kept linking up for, we've done now 3 workouts together in the last 2 weeks. We have another one planned in another week that we'll probably link up for, and it's just nice because as of right now, I'm kind of in between situations, and he's a very good athlete and someone that is fun to work out with. So been really fun to throw in some sessions with him. For this specific session, we did 2 mile reps. The 2 mile reps were at like 450-ish down to 445-ish for me. So I went 9:43 for the first rep, took 2 minutes rest. Then I went 9:40, took 3 minutes rest, went 9:33, took 2 minutes rest again, and then closed it out with a 9:29. Like I said earlier, like that's when I feel my best as an athlete, is when that 9:29 rep at the end doesn't feel like a strain. Like I'm trying to see as relaxed as I can, running pretty close to half marathon pace up here at 7,000 feet. That's, to me, the ultimate sign of fitness, is when I'm hitting those paces, I'm hitting them up here, and I'm feeling efficient and powerful, and like I could keep going at the end of these reps. And it was one of those where like I could have maybe done another rep and even sped up again, but we called it there, knowing the context of what I was coming off of and what I'm getting ready for. And yeah, it's just exciting when you don't feel like you have to dig a super big hole to get a really solid session in. Those workouts, specifically long intervals like 2 mile reps, are something that I've always liked, but also something that I feel like when I'm really, really fit, I can show it in that kind of workout. Sometimes you can fake it in the shorter reps, or get away with a little bit of grinding through it, but when the reps are longer, when it's more sustained efforts, I feel like you can't hide. You'll reveal your true fitness, and I feel like this workout went really well, and it's like one small piece on a big foundation that I've been building of threshold work. I think my speed is in a really good place. Done a few sessions to kind of test that. What we're gonna do from here on is really bolster that threshold and try to get in like as good of half marathon shape as possible. Coming out of the Olympics, one of the things I felt was like I was strong like aerobically, but I wasn't as fast like thresholdy as I was for say Seville. Seville, I was training to run 2:08. I was doing everything I could to get as fast as physically possible, and I kind of shifted my focus to focus on course specific prep for the Paris Games and the heat and such like that. But this is gonna kind of, even though New York's still a hard course and it's gonna need to be a grinder's race, I think I need to go back to let's get fast, let's get in really good half marathon shape and be able to translate that to a full. And that new stimulus seems to be feeling really good for me right now, and I'm really excited about that. And why New York? You never really said why you're doing the New York Marathon, and that's a really good question, and something that I have no problem sharing. It's like, in the sport of marathoning specifically, there's only a few things that measure your success as a pro and your career as a whole. Like when you look back on it, like when people remember you and your performances, they're gonna remember your fastest times, the world and Olympic teams you made, and then I think above all else, they're gonna remember your best days on the biggest stages, which the Olympics is obviously the cream of that, the highest, but right below that, like, and not by much, depending on the year, are the World Marathon Majors. And New York is kind of the cream of the crop of the marathon majors. It's the biggest marathon in the world. It's a true racer's race. It's got a very diverse field, usually with people from all over the globe, a lot of elite East Africans. We have the defending Olympic champion. So long story short, I chose New York because it's the perfect measuring place. It's like, it's the place where if you do well there, you can do well anywhere, similar to an Olympic Games and such. And throughout the next several years, I think my biggest focus will be stacking experiences like that against world-class fields. All right, so we just finished up a long run out on A1, Flagstaff's most iconic long run. It's a lasso loop where you go 7 uphill, 7 loop with a big, like, punchy uphill at the end of the lollipop, and then on the way back is pretty gradual down. I had 3 pickups in that long run. The pickups were 15 minutes long. I did the first one uphill, and that was about 325 per K, 525 to 530 per mile. Second one was on a relatively flat / rolling hill section on the lasso, which was 319 per K or 520 per mile. And then the last one was the gradual down, where I was about 316 per K or 515-ish per mile. This was just supposed to be like a stimulus within the long run, get some volume in, get some aerobic work in the middle of a big high volume week, back-to-back 120s for me. I feel like training has really turned a corner for me, and I feel like this is the fitness that I was, seeking out and trying to find. That entire Olympic build where things just weren't coming as easy to me, and things are coming easy right now. I ran my fastest mile since I broke 4 in a workout on Friday, did a 4:18 on the road, and that felt really smooth. So yeah, I'm just kind of like, things are clicking now and doing new things, and I've got a lot of motivation, so this is a really fun point in training to be in. I'm very much someone who maps out my decisions based on what excites me, and my legacy as a marathoner, specifically in the Canadian North American realm, has always been something I've been pretty open about being important to me. And I was looking up just this last week, like, what other top Americans and Canadians, like how many top 8s at majors have they had? And it's astonishingly low, but I think the way that you set yourself up to reach those high heights is to just show up, as Des Linden says, is like show up to as many of these events as possible, throw as many good builds, good race efforts, take some risks, and just see what happens. And so the name of this build is to get super fit and throw another really good effort at a global field. And specifically, I think, you know, I went into the Olympics thinking I was going to be smarter than people. I was going to run savvy, and I was going to, you know, finesse my way into a high finish, and I got humbled. This is going to be more about risk taking. This is going to be more about putting it all out there in training and on race day. Like, I want to be top 8 at New York. I want to be mixing it up with the lead group, top Americans, top competitors in the world. And yeah, that's what excites me right now, and New York is the best place for me to do that this fall. So that's why, and I'm really excited to translate what I've been doing in training to race day, and we got a couple cool things in store to showcase what I'm doing differently, and it's been really, really fun to experiment. And obviously there's kind of a little bit of a mystique around my current training atmosphere. I haven't been forthright in telling people who I've been working with and what I've been doing, and that's intentional. I kind of want to like play it close to the vest, but like, you know, maybe you can do some investigative work, you know, tease that out, throw in the comments maybe your guesses of what's next for me. I don't entirely know what the entire future holds, but I know I'm really happy with what I'm doing at the moment, and I'm really excited for what it can lead to for the New York City Marathon.